Welcome to the studios of Akashvani Panaji. Today we have a very special guest because it's a remarkable achievement that Rajvardhan Dinkar Yadav has become the first Goan to be recommended for both Indian Air Force Conman admission test, that's AFCAT 2024, as a pilot in the flying branch and also in All India Conman admission test of Indian Coast Guard Services as Assistant Commandant, that's FSB ICG, Noida, Delhi. He qualified written tests, service selection boards, final selection boards, and critical medical examination and physical tests in his very first attempt. I think history has been made. Not only that, he could have been playing in the Border Gavaskar Trophy in the 5th Test in Sydney because he was a renowned leg spinner representing school and state and won laurels for his school, Kendriya Vidyalaya, INS Mandovi. Well, first of all, many congratulations, Rajvardhan, and welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So, how did you feel, when you got the news? First of all, how did you get the news? Do they call you? Did they send you a telegram?
No, actually, like if we qualify for the written, it shows up on the screen. And then when we qualify for the interview, like we say we get recommended.
Okay.
Then the commanding officer of that particular board, he comes up and then he says that I'll call up the chest numbers. He doesn't call up the names. We are given particular chest numbers.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just called up the chest numbers, and the ones names the chest numbers he called up, we have to stand up and go on the stage.
Must have been a really proud moment.
Yeah, it was. Actually, I remember that day since it was my first attempt, and I was not pretty sure that I'll get recommended in my first attempt because like it's very rare, and I was just waiting there, and he came after I guess around 30 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay.
And then he said I'll be announcing the chest numbers. At that point of time, I was just thinking, okay, I mean, no matter how positive you stay, like you try to be,
yes,
but those questions come in your mind that what if I don't get? So I was just thinking about that, and suddenly I heard my chest number.
How many digits is your chest number?
2 digits.
Okay. I thought 5, 8, 7, 2, 1. Okay, just 2 digits. So,
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
So he called up my chest number and I was just...
The chest burst open with
Yeah.
pride and joy.
Yeah, I just stood up and then I went on the stage.
So when did this, thought process begin? I'm sure it's been a long time in coming. How long does this whole process take?
For me to
From application to completion?
Okay, so last year in December I applied.
Okay.
And February the written exam was conducted. After that, the whole process of interview, medical test, and since I applied for pilot, I had to go through one more test, the CPSS test.
Okay.
So all that it took around a year, like December only. This
Where
month,
was your written test conducted?
Goa only, yeah, MAFSA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And your medicals?
Medical were in Bangalore.
Okay.
Yeah, initial medicals.
And this was always something you had in mind, or you had started working somewhere else? What is the story behind your life?
When I had done my schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya, so
Correct.
it's inside a naval base.
Yes.
So my initial influence, it came from there. It was not that I want to do it. It was something in my mind that okay, maybe I'll try to join the defense forces someday, because having going to school in that background, I had friends who were from that background and their parents used to come.
Correct.
So I always used to see them wearing those uniform, coming in car. So that sparked me a little. And after that also, I was working in an IT company for 1 year. Over there, I got sure that, okay, this is not something I want to do.
Okay.
So let me try for the defense forces.
Okay. So you had it in the back of your mind at some point.
Yeah, from my schooling days only.
Okay. What was the preparation for the written tests and all? What did you have to... Is there a prescribed book or something?
There is no prescribed. You'll get many publications who they give books.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not suggested to go through them. Having thorough knowledge about your NCRT is enough for general. I mean, it has 4 sections in total.
Okay.
First is maths, then GS, your general science, English, and then logical reasoning. Logical reasoning is something that, I mean, you just have it or you don't.
True.
And then maths, till 10th, you have to be thorough. Yeah, NCRT, it's just normal mathematics.
Okay.
It's called aptitude, mathematical aptitude.
Okay.
And then GS, current affairs, history, science, politics, all of it comes in GS. And English is normally till 11th, 12th.
Give us an example of one unique question that was there, or something that either tickled you or troubled you. Do you recall any
The questions are mostly standard only.
Standard.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was nothing hatke, as they say, out of the way.
There was actually not in Air Force, not in FCAT.
Okay.
In Coast Guard written exam.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't Hatke, but I actually felt that, okay, they just asked the motto of Coast Guard, and in the admit card itself, the
answer was
motto
there.
was there.
Now you have two options. So how are you weighing the options? What are you thinking of?
Air Force is short service commission,
Okay.
and Coast Guard is permanent commission. So there I can do the job up till 60 years.
Short service is how short?
14 years, 10 years plus 4 years.
Okay.
They give you extension based on your performance and other factors, the vacancies
Right.
and all. But one thing is that in Air Force I'll get to fly, and
obviously.
not everyone gets that chance. So
Yes.
that one particular factor is enough for me to choose Air
That's
Force.
it.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
It's actually a dream is taking flight, in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I won't say, both have their level of, risk and this certain aspects which are, important and relevant. But it's a no-brainer in a sense, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I think most youngsters would take that up.
yeah, because I mean, flying is something every child he dreams of.
Yeah.
Mostly for boys, it's like a no-brainer.
Any heroes have influenced you, or any movies, or that put this thought in your head, one day I'm going to fly, like
Yeah.
Superman, or one of these Marvel movies?
Not Marvel movies, but yes, there is one movie, Top Gun of Tom Cruise.
Of course.
And then there was also one book I read when I was in my school. It was, I don't know, Every Man a Tiger. That was a book. It was about a Air Force pilot. So the airstrikes that they carried during the Gulf War.
I see.
And I mean,
90s.
It was really good. Yeah, in the 90s.
Okay. So it's a kind of a, not fiction.
It's non-fiction. It's it's
Semi.
partly biography and partly all the facts, how they carried out the operation and all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. I'm surprised nobody's made a movie on that. And now, what is the next step for you?
Now I just received my joining letter.
Okay, congratulations.
I'll be joining the academy.
Okay.
It's going to be a process of 1 year. Will be 6 months. There will be basic military training.
Okay.
And after that, the next 6 months they'll teach us everything about flying.
Okay.
And we'll be allotted our specific aircrafts.
You're hoping to fly the Rafale?
I'm hoping, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why not? We have to dream big.
Yeah.
Generally, after the short service commission is over, then what is the path that people usually follow?
There are a
You
lot
get
of...
into training yourself? You could
Even that's an option.
become a trainer?
We have many opportunities because in those 14 years, Ministry of Defense is very kind enough. They give us a degree from IIM also.
Okay.
Yeah, MBA from IIM,
Okay.
which many people have to give CAT and then go.
Correct.
I mean, they don't just give, we have to obviously
study.
Yeah, study.
Absolutely.
But we get that opportunity to get a degree from IIM.
Okay.
So we have a degree from IIM, MBA degree. And then obviously for flying, we can go for commercial as well. And others who are in ground, those who didn't get into flying,
Right.
but they are in Air Force, in ground duty, they are selected in other aviation for ground duty. Or they can even go for training others.
Yes, or supervisory
Yeah,
roles.
supervise, yeah.
So earlier you were saying about the written test.
Yeah.
Besides that, what is the other steps involved? Because 1 year is quite long. They won't take so long to correct written papers, right?
Yeah, they don't take much long
Yeah.
to correct the papers. Actually, we get the results in 1 month itself. The
Right.
written results. Most of the candidates, they qualify written. I mean, if last year around 20 to 40,000 they gave their written
I
papers.
was about to ask you, you're become a mind reader now. I was like, how many students apply? About 35 to 40,000.
No, they cleared it.
Cleared.
They
How
cleared
many
it.
applied? Lakhs?
Yeah, around 1 to 2 lakhs they
Wow.
applied it.
Okay.
Or more than that, I'm not sure. But the number of candidates that cleared were around 20,000 something. And amongst those who cleared SSB, there were total 489,
Okay.
including female candidates.
Okay.
Yeah. So the SSB process, it takes 5 days in total. So it takes a lot of time.
So what happens on day one?
Day one, around 200 candidates are called for the first day SSB interview. And the day one is screening and test. Over there, there's a test called as PPDT, picture perception.
Okay.
Yeah, test. So over there,
Like in psychologists.
yeah, kind
They
of.
show you an apple and something like that?
They show us a picture on white screen for 30 seconds only.
Okay.
And it's blurred. It's not clear.
Ah.
So it's like, what do you think about it?
Okay.
And then you have to write a story. For 30 seconds they show, and then the screen is blank.
Okay.
And then you have to write a story in 4 minutes.
Okay.
You have to...
How many, is it a certain number of lines or something?
They give you a page.
You have to fill
it's
the
good
page.
if you fill the page, yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, over there you have to write how many number of characters you saw in that picture. What was the mood of the character?
So
were they
there
positive,
is a
negative?
certain framework.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have to give a title of the story and then write a story of around 1 page. And after writing the story, in 4 minutes, they'll take your paper from you.
So all the 200 get the same
No,
image?
200 are broken into batches of 20, around 10 batches.
10 batches.
So in one batch, there are 20 candidates and we'll be shown one picture.
Understood.
And the process will be going on simultaneously for all the 10 batches in 10 rooms. And then everyone will write their story. When 4 minutes are over, everyone will go outside the room.
Is there language you can write
English.
only English?
Yeah, only English.
Then?
After that, we have been called to the group discussion room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have to go in the group discussion room.
Same group?
Same group, yeah.
Once you get that
because
batch
the
of 20.
picture should be same, yeah.
Correct.
And then all those 20 students come inside a room. Over there, one by one, we have to, and over there, like 3 assessors will be there, 2 assessors. Mostly there will be 1 psychologist, 1 interviewing officer who will further conduct our interview, and 1 group task officer.
Okay.
So all 3 of them will sit and we'll be sitting in a line. After that, they'll ask us to narrate our story. And then one by one, we'll narrate the story. And as soon as the last candidate has finished narrating his story, then group discussion phase begins.
Okay.
And because everyone needs to speak something, so everyone jumps in at the same time and a fish market is created. Yeah. Over there, what we have to do is, because 20 candidates will write 20 different stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the main point of group discussion is that all of us are needed to discuss and then come to a common consensus, one single story.
I see.
Yeah, one single story, one single title.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
So in the first phase, like the story writing and narration phase, they check how fluent are we, how's our confidence while speaking, and
written.
How do we perceive things.
Yes.
Like a person who's generally perceives negatively, he will like write a negative story.
Correct.
Yeah. So after that phase, in the group discussion phase, they check how do we act in a group.
Correct.
And like, do we agree to others, or we disagree, or we
overly aggressive.
Yeah, or we dominate the discussion.
Correct.
So even listening is important.
And it's a mixed group, boys and girls.
No. Only male candidates, SSB and female are different.
It's different. Oh, interesting.
After group discussion, we have to come to a common consensus.
Yeah.
A single story. And
so how long did that consensus arrive at? It took a long time?
Yeah.
Or you have been given half an hour, whatever?
No. Actually, what happens is, if the discussion is fruitful, they listen. If it's not, they know if there is, this is just a fish market. Then what they do is, okay, your group of 20 now will divide it into 2, 10 and 10.
Okay.
First 10 discuss, and then the rest people. And then all of you discuss again. So they break down the group.
So yours was broken down?
No,
yours was not a fish market.
Yeah. Because some people, they didn't speak. Others were overly dominant. And it's up to you how you find those gaps in between. Yeah. Then you can make your point.
Were there other candidates from Goa? Are you aware of?
No, I didn't even meet a single candidate from Goa.
Okay.
That's why most of my friends were like, "Oh, you're from Goa." We never met anyone from Goa giving SSBs.
And then after this,
this was the first day.
Okay.
So in the evening, this process takes around 3 to 4 hours for all the batches to get over. Then they come and they announce the chest numbers who are selected. So from 200, around 40 to 50 get selected.
Okay.
Yeah. Then those 50 go into the next stage.
Where was this?
In Gandhinagar.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 FSB. The different FSB boards are there all over India. In total, there are 5.
Okay. So then you went to the second phase.
The second phase.
Where you had to do what?
Then the order may vary.
No, I'm asking you because I'm confident that youngsters listening to you, in Goa especially, will feel like taking it up. It is challenging, but it's also very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
If I was younger, I would have, the whole process seems very exciting.
Yeah, even I think like the students of Goa will have an edge over others because they already have command over English language.
True.
While people
That
from
makes
north
yes.
mostly don't have it.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the second day, the order may vary now. What I'm going to say.
Probably.
But I had my interview in the second day. On the second day.
Panel?
No, it's a one-on-one interview.
One-on-one.
Panel is in the last day.
Okay.
On the last day, the conference day.
Okay.
Yeah. On the second day, I had my interview, and interview is generally taken up by the senior most member of the board.
Okay.
So my interview was taken by the president of the board.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly it's president or the vice president only. There they ask everything. They start from something called as CIQs. They are a set of 15 to 20 questions. They ask you it in a sequence. You have to answer them in the same order.
I see.
Yeah. After answering those, they will ask you about your personal life, everything about you. Then they'll ask something random like about the current affairs.
Okay.
Or about
like what would you do in this situation?
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, situational tests.
Okay.
And then they ask you like, what's your opinion if this was done in the army? What would you do?
So your perspectives.
Yeah, your perspective.
Perceptions and perspectives.
Yeah, and how you counter those situations. Then they ask you about your family, your background, what you're doing currently, and why you want to join the forces. Obviously. Yeah. And some other questions. It goes,
how long was that?
For me, it was around 45 minutes.
Okay.
That's the second day. You just have your interview. Then third day, I missed one part. In the first day's second part, after screening it, you have a psychological test as well. In the first day only.
Written?
Yeah, it's written.
Oh.
So the psychologist, he never meets you. He never interacts with you.
Okay.
The only thing he can judge you is by reading your psychological booklet which you get.
Oh.
So there's a booklet given to you.
You have to fill in.
Yeah. So the first part which I mentioned, the story, they show the picture. In psychological test, the first test is TAT.
Okay.
It's thematic aptitude test. Okay. So they show us 12 pictures back to back, same, and then we have to write 11 stories.
Okay.
The 12 story is a blank picture. We have to write a story of our own, whatever we can visualize.
Interesting.
Yeah. After those 11 pictures. And then...
what were one of the pictures of those 11? You were shown 12 pictures, 11 pictures. What was one of those pictures?
Okay, so I'll give you 3 pictures just to get an idea.
Yes.
One picture was just a boy running.
Okay.
Not a boy, was around in mid 50s, 40s. He was running.
Okay.
Some guys, it depends.
So some people may write he was running to something.
Yeah, he's running from something.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's how they check. And then one picture was, there was a guy who was fallen down and his head was bleeding.
Okay.
There was some other guy rushing towards him.
Colored pictures?
No, it's black and white.
Black and white, okay.
So,
but you can make out.
Yeah, we can make out because everything was. So then in these pictures, you can't just, you have to write that he is bleeding. You can't just run, because then if you don't write, it will be like you're running away from the situation.
Reality.
Yeah. So in this type of pictures, it depends how you're going to act in this situation. So you have to write the actions that you will go, you'll stop his bleeding first. And
first is probably, do you also have to write what caused it? Your interpretation.
In the story, we have to include everything. What caused this situation, what led to the situation,
yes.
how you're going to tackle
it,
and then you have to conclude the story. So this way, the
quite
type of pictures, And then there was some war kind of picture.
Obviously, one they'll insert one for sure.
Okay, and generally what they do is they include 2-3 same kind of pictures. Like if in one picture someone is going for trekking, then the other picture there will be 3 people going for trekking. Yeah, like that. Because then you are going to write similar stories. If you don't, then they will make out that
And how long do they give you to write?
Same, 4 minutes for one story.
So for this was about 1 hour.
Yeah,
11,
the first
12.
test, yes. Yeah. And then in the same psychological test, the other section is word assessment test.
Okay.
Then there are a set of 60 words. You are given around 10 seconds to read. It comes on the screen. After 10 seconds, it just vanishes.
What do you have to do?
Look at the word and then write a sentence about it.
Choosing words from there?
No, one word at a time they will show. Yeah, and then,
write a sentence.
Yeah, write a sentence.
Can be anything.
In 10 seconds,
Okay.
Mostly first they give around normal words like hat, chair. Then they will give some insufficient. And in between they will add some negative words like murder, crime, those words.
I think the system is quite amazing if you think about it.
Yeah, because you can't fake yourself in this 10 seconds. And the words are completely different. It's not like all words are positive.
And this is one-on-one, individual or group?
All those 50 to 60 students who made it to the second phase.
sit together.
They sit together and there will be a screen and then we have to write.
Nice.
Then after 60 words, we have SRTs, situational reaction test. 60 SRTs and how you're going to tackle it. So they may be like, he was going to some place with his father and a group of people were rushing towards him carrying some hockey sticks in their hand. So we have to complete the sentence.
Yeah.
So like that. And last part is SD, that is self description. Over there they ask us to write about opinion about yourself, your father's opinion on you, your parents, your colleagues, your friends, and then your opinion. And yeah, that's it. That's HD. Then this booklet is gone to the psychologist, and then he'll read and then he'll judge whether you pass it or not. Yeah.
So obviously you did extremely well. And then after that?
After that, the second day was interview.
Yes.
And then generally what happens is in Army and Navy, psychological test is done in the second day. So in the third day, we do the GTO, group task officer comes, and then it goes on for 2 days. And then the last day, we have our conference.
Okay.
Yeah, but in Air Force, what happens is the psychological test and screening and test is done on the same day.
Okay.
So the second day, if you have an interview in the second day itself, 1 day you're going to get free. So the third day for me, I was completely free. And then the fourth, and
you're allowed to go out and.
It depends on the board. And for us, they didn't allow. Okay. And yeah, then I had my GTO on the fourth day and the fifth day also. Okay. And then I had my conference on the fifth day on itself.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and GTO process, mainly now they have assessed us, the IO, they assessed us one-on-one. Psychologist also, he saw a booklet, he read our booklet. So that was also one-on-one assessment, kind of.
I guess so.
Yeah, but GTO, they assess us like how we'll act in a group, how our process, how thought process is, how we treat others.
So from 1 lakh plus, it came down to how many who were finally selected?
292.
That's it.
Including this female candidates.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so. आप लाखों में एक हो भाई. Well, I'm sure after assessing your mental fitness, there would have been an assessment of your medical fitness, your physical fitness. Yeah. So what was that procedure like?
So the medical standards for Air Force pilots, it's quite tough.
Of course.
And the thing is that we have different medical standards for different duties in Air Force. Okay. For ground duty, there are other standards, and for flying, there are other standards.
Naturally.
Yeah. The medical that you're going to go through, it depends on whether you have passed CPSS test or no.
What is this CPSS test?
Yeah, CPSS test, it basically is a test of your psychomotor skills.
Okay.
Yeah, the full form is Computerized Pilot Selection System.
Okay.
And it basically includes kind of all the parts which were there in the written. But in short, you're given around 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours, and there will be a short written test. Okay. They check your aptitude. And after passing the aptitude, there will be a set of 10 games. It's kind of a simulation. You will be made to sit inside the aircraft. Okay. Yeah, and then you'll have a screen in front of you. And you have to play this. With
the helmet and all?
Yeah, everything. The headset and everything is given. Yeah, not the uniform.
Yes, of course.
And after that, you're made to play 10 games back to back continuously. For each game, you get 3 chances. Best of 3 is considered. The best of 3 score, it's considered. And those games are not.
Passing must be not the usual 35-40%. It must be higher, right? The passing, people who pass 80% you need to score at least.
In the written?
No, in this 10 games.
Yeah, the thing is that in CPSS they don't tell us what's the passing level. Yeah, okay. They don't even tell you what you scored. They just tell you passed or you failed. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So after playing this 10 games, they come, the assessors come and they tell whoever made it. I remember in our batch there were around 8 female candidates and 4 of us were male. And amongst those 8, only 2 female candidates made it.
I see.
And even CPSS, it's a test that you get to give once in a lifetime. Once you fail in that test, you can't ever fly in the Indian Air Force at least. You can
join
You can join the commercial aviation, but not for the Indian Air Force.
Yeah. But you can join not as a pilot.
Not as a pilot. As ground duty you can join.
Okay, if you're selected.
Yeah. So if you're selected, if you pass this CPSS test, your medical is going to be according to the standards of a flying candidate.
Correct.
And not according to someone who's going to go for ground duty.
So your pressure, this, that. So
Yeah,
that
because-
process.
Yeah, it's
also-
once in a lifetime. There's a lot of pressure.
So once you obviously got through that.
Yeah.
Then what were the medical
Yeah.
tests they did?
Then-
Blood tests, this, that, everything.
Yeah. Then they call us for the medical.
Where did this happen?
Two places in India. One is Delhi and one is Bangalore.
Okay.
Mine was in Bangalore.
Okay.
In IIM, Institute of Aerospace Medicine.
Okay.
So the medical test was for about 4 days, and they check everything.
Stress
all
test,
the tests.
everything.
Yeah, everything. Your
How old are you
EC.
now?
Huh?
How old?
I'm 23. I completed
Okay.
23. Yeah. So they test everything of your eyes and spine. They are given more importance for flying.
Correct.
Yeah, even a small gap between your spine bones. I mean, then
True.
you're unfit for it. And eyes, obviously, no specs are allowed.
Of course.
Yeah, then they have other different tests for eyes, vision test, color blindness, then MLT. There's something called as MLT, Martin Lantern test.
Okay.
So it's about your night vision, and they include everything, right from your like blood test to your X-rays. For flying, I guess there were around 6 X-rays in total. For ground, there are 3 X-rays. Half.
Okay. So
Yeah.
quite intense.
Yeah. So after the medical, we have to wait for the merit list, and if you get
So you're fit and fine and ready to fly.
Yeah.
Wonderful. If you were to give a message to your peers and your other youngsters who are listening in right now, what would you say to them? 3 things they would need.
3 things. First is obviously to believe in yourself, because I mean, if someone like me can do it, then anyone can. I believe that.
You're being modest now. Come on. Huh?
No, I am serious. And then consistency. You need it for everything, like for sports, academics, everything. And the third will be, I think, to have confidence and like not to be dominant in nature. You should be a person who's willing to learn from others. Yeah, that's it.
I think that's something which youngsters these days, they are willing to teach, but very not willing to learn.
Yeah.
But I think your parents have raised you so well. Your school environment has helped mold your character and your personality. And I'm sure your love for the country will take you through your future years.
Yeah.
So on behalf of all of us here at Akashvani and all our listeners across Goa, we wish you all success and waiting to hear more flying stories about Rajvardhan Yadav.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.